You should put some shorts on or something if you want to keep fighting evil today.
And now, back to the Big Dumb Fun Show.
Back on the Big Dumb Fun Show. We hang out online at BigDumbFunShow.com. If you want to know who that was So Licit with their song Complicated. You can see on my camera here in the background, we've got Alice, Sweet Alice on deck. Going to be coming up next, but right now, we've got tax specialist Kelly Phillips Erb from TaxGirl.com.
That's right. Kelly, welcome back to the show. Kelly's a mom, a tax lawyer, a coffee drinker, a manic blogger, an iPod addict, and she doesn't sleep at all. She's based out of Philly. And I don't know if you know this, Rena, being new to the show, I was born in West Philadelphia.
I didn't know that.
On the playground is where I spent most of my days.
I thought you were a Kansas City boy.
That's where I spent most of my days, absolutely. Until my mom got scared and
moved to Grain Valley.
Pleasant Hill.
Went to Pleasant Hill, Missouri.
Pleasant Hill, my bad.
And that's where I will remain.
They actually coined the phrase City of Brotherly Love from Venkman.
Oh, good Lord.
That was allegedly.
Lord.
No, we're on the phone. Kelly, welcome back again. You're on the Twitter. You're on the Twitter at TaxGirl, short and sweet. Facebook, it's facebook.com/TaxGirl as well. So can people mention you, tag you on Twitter, and will you answer them?
Oh, yeah, all the time. People ask me questions, especially this time of year, all the time on Twitter.
Now, tell us a little bit about how you've completely blown up, and it seems like year after year after year. You're in more places, more TV shows, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around why you're even going on our show. But
have fun with you guys.
Published in more places now. You actually type in taxgirl.com. It forwards over to blog.forbes.com.
Wow.
And your page.
On Forbes?
Yeah, I'm with Forbes now. Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Well, and my question would be that it's kind of a weird correlation because
how do we do it?
Exactly.
No, because Steve Forbes, the guy, the CEO, whatever, of course, behind Forbes magazine, his whole platform was to obliterate the IRS and taxes and do his whole thing was a flat tax, right? So it's kind of a weird correlation that you're a tax attorney, you're a tax specialist without saying expert.
She knows a lot about the taxes,
and then yet Forbes is the guy that's trying to. It's just kind of. I thought it was kind of weird. Are you for any of the? All right, let me rephrase the question, Kelly. Of the presidential candidates in the race right now, of which we have, I don't know, we got like a half a dozen candidates or so. Which one would have the most impact on just overall taxes? I know it's a broad question, but who would have the most impact on what you're paying come tax time next year?
So, honest answer, none of them.
Oh.
If
Thanks, Kelly. So
on that note.
And I don't know, I don't mean that in like a really snarky kind of way, but realistically, the president has a lot of influence over tax policy, but with a very few exceptions, and one of them being Ronald Reagan in 1986, you rarely see a president, wield an enormous amount of power and influence over the tax code.
Yeah, because
when Obama came into office, he had a lot of things he wanted to do. He had a majority in Congress, and he still couldn't get it done. No matter who wins this election, I don't think anything's really going to change. Because at the end of the day, since you brought up the flat tax, I'll give you my 2 cents on that.
Please.
At the end of the day, everybody says that they want simple, but they don't. Nobody really wants to give up their mortgage interest deduction. Nobody really wants to give up their real estate tax deduction. People say they want it simple, but they don't. They just want to pay less, and those are not the same things.
Yeah,
I could see that. The only thing that I'm thinking of, and chime in if you disagree, was that I really have no problem, or I guess I really have not a problem, but really no opinion when it comes to like the illegal immigration. However, if you were to dissolve, like the income tax entirely, and you just have a higher sales tax, it seems like, hey, now everybody's chipping in. Like that was Huckabee's idea a couple years back, and I still think it's a pretty decent idea. Do you think that would work or no?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because as you know, I didn't come from money. I don't have money now, but I didn't come from money, and I was a struggling student for a really long time. I paid my way through, and I can tell you that. People want to say that the sales tax it makes everything equal, but it really doesn't, because when I went down to the store and bought a quart of milk, it hurt me a lot more than it hurts Mitt Romney. So the 6% I'm paying on that milk isn't the same as 6% that Mitt Romney's paying, even though percentage-wise at the store it's the same, but it hits me differently because if people, it's not like I'm going out and buying a Bentley. It's milk or eggs or something that I need, and those needs don't change if you're poor versus if you're rich. I know the argument is that if you're rich, you'll consume more and therefore you'll pay more, and there's some truth to that. But there's also a bottom line that everybody has to spend to survive, and that's going to sales tax on those things will hit people that are poorer much more dramatically. And I say that as being somebody from North Carolina, where there's sales tax on practically everything. It was weird to come up to Pennsylvania and find out that they didn't tax clothes.
They tax everything here in Missouri and Kansas. We get taxed on everything here. Tax on food, tax on clothes.
And it hurts people that are in lower income brackets.
Because
again, if you assume, let's just say that everybody has to spend $5,000 to stay alive, and you get taxed on, let's just say 10%, because that's an easy number, that's $500. Mm-hmm. If all you have in the world is $10,000, that $500 means a lot to you. If you're Mitt Romney and you made $75 million, that $500 doesn't mean a lot to you. And obviously I'm exaggerating a little bit, kind of to make the point, but that's what scares me a little about something like a sales tax, because I don't think people understand that just because the percentages on the calculator are the same doesn't mean that the hit to the pocketbook is the same.
True.
That is absolutely true.
I think the exaggeration was Mitt Romney made more than $75 million, but no.
Yeah, well,
after deductions it was $75.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I've got a tax question. I had a medical problem and I had surgery just before the end of the year.
Penis enlargement.
No, that was last year.
Oh, okay. Oh, you meant this year.
He got rid of his tail.
Yeah, my question would
that
be,
tail.
I incurred the medical expense in 2011, but I didn't pay it till 2012. Can I deduct it on this year's taxes?
How did you pay it?
I hadn't paid it.
Oh, you haven't?
Yeah,
well,
I haven't paid it. I incurred the expense. Can I write it off on my taxes this year?
Before you pay it?
No, you could. It'll be a 2012. It'll be a 2012 deduction, not 2011. But the reason I asked you how you paid it is because if you had put it on a credit card in 2011, it would have been deductible in 2011, even if you didn't actually pay the credit card until 2012.
Ah,
snap!
That's a Chip's Money tip.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Kelly, we thank you so much for stopping by, and also thanks. I don't know if you know him, PSU girl, for just the retweets and everything. We definitely appreciate it, and I appreciate that you take some time out of your day to talk with us year after year. And I'm still puzzled why you even give us a shot, but I thank you very much.
Because we're awesome.
The Big Dumb.
Thank you, Kelly.
We're awesome. I appreciate you guys having me every year.
Well, maybe we're going to talk with you again next year on the Big Dumb Fun Show.
All righty. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.